6:30.
All right, call to order. I'd like to call to order the November 16th. It's November. North Bend Planning Commission to order at 6:30 p.m. First, we're going to start with the roll call and see who we all have here. Brian.
Present.
James. No. Olivia Moe, yes. Giuliano, yes.
Present, yeah.
And
Yes.
not here. All right, so we have a form, and let the record note that we are going to excuse James Bosworth and Hannah Thiel. All right. Is there anybody on the Zoom meeting other than, okay, I was gonna say, well, this is the time for opportunity to have public comment. So we'll open and close it at 6:31 since we have no one here. And we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is to go over the minutes from October 27th and find out if we have any corrections to it, any clarification. Being there's no corrections or clarifications, how about if we have someone move that we make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to make a motion to approve the minutes from Planning Commission.
October 27th.
October 27th, 2022.
Perfect. And a second?
I can read a second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Nope. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Our next agenda item is a hearing and recommendation for the North Bend Municipal Code Amendment, Chapter 14.04, Environment Policy and the Thresholds for Minor Construction. So first we'll have the city give us a little summary on that.
Yeah, sure. And we might have master builders trying to log in at some point. You were provided a letter from them today, and that was from Ben Taylor. So at our last meeting, we kind of introduced this topic and had some discussion about it, and I had sent some materials to you guys afterwards. But what we are looking to do is adopt some amendments to our municipal code that would offer flexible thresholds to SEPA categorical exemptions for minor projects, and we have some proposals from you guys developed from the last meeting. And then we also want to reference the state list of the categorical exemptions rather than listing them in our code. So that way, if things change over time, we're consistent with the state. So those are the two edits, primary edits. What we have in the staff report, and I noticed that all the page numbers went away when I resent the agenda, but page 2 of the staff report shows that table 1, which is the proposal from the Planning Commission, and we're proposing for single family to go from 4 units to 12 units. And this is the trigger for having to do a SEPA. For multifamily, 4 units to 12 units. Agricultural structures, 10,000 square feet to 20,000. Office, school, and commercial would go from 4,000 to 20,000. Parking facilities from 20 spaces to 25. And then the fill-in excavation would stay the same at 500 cubic yards. We also have to provide analysis of other impacts to the environment, and then response to the WAC requirements for making these changes. Part of that is having this hearing tonight. We have not received any other comments besides the letter that came in today. So And like I said, I've lost the page number, but there's a table which addresses every SEPA element and goes through and responds to what our code does to address those individual elements.
Page 14 of the packet.
Yeah.
Have any questions?
Yeah, so that's it.
I just wanted to say, I loved this. I really appreciated how you guys broke down the SEPA and then just like really made a connection to like how it is already covered in our municipal code. It really saved me a lot of like brain power trying to like figure it out myself, so.
Yeah.
Are we hoping that here on page 2, it says that, under economic impacts, there'd be some potential cost savings for applicants? Are we hoping that that will be, just kind of trickle down to our community?
Yeah, I would think anytime you can save time and money on project review, you know, that,
We don't by chance have a way that we could measure that.
No, I mean, unless you're a mom and pop opening, then you're saving that money directly. It's hard to measure on a builder, when they save money from us, how much gets passed on, because it's always market,
Yeah.
conditions, so it's hard to
I know.
connect
I know
those
it
two.
is. And it's hard for me when I look at projects and I'm like, oh geez, that cost you $40 million, like the $5,000 you saved on SEPA, like, what does that mean to us, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But I would argue that not everybody is a huge corporation, and so
Yeah.
Not
that
everybody.
$5,000 is gonna be a big number.
I mean, building 12 units that's millions of dollars, like, it's not gonna be like a mom and pop, really. They're already like exempt.
are there any other clarifying questions? And then I would say we could open public hearing.
We do have someone online now, has joined us.
I was gonna ask a question, something you said, just made me think. And it had to do, the way you described it, and see if I can recreate what my question was. Our proposed was 12 units over 30 units.
We're going from 4 to 12 units in both
Right.
single family and multifamily.
Right.
The maximum threshold there for single family allowed by the state is 30.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is, oh, and so, but, okay, oh, yeah, that's what it was. It was, so, basically, we're if there's 13 units, then they have to do
SEPA.
a second SEPA, because they've already done a first SEPA, right?
No, they're exempt if they're 12 units and under.
Okay, so,
If they have 13 units under this code, then they'd have to do SEPA.
okay, but isn't the state already requiring that? That's where I'm confused.
No,
We are requiring it now for anything over 4.
Okay,
the state allows us to adopt up to an exemption up to 30 units.
okay, so,
And
because I thought I
we're going
understood
12.
from the last one was because, a lot of this stuff is already in the state code that we already have to do.
Yes, we're already covering all of the things that we end up having to cover also in SEPA.
Okay,
And that's what that is.
Through just general project review, through
Not through
critical
SEPA.
areas, through the general project review.
okay, so,
Um,
they're similar, but they're not the same.
yeah, you just don't have to do that SEPA process, but you do the other project review.
Okay.
And the documentation, like we talked about last meeting, all those documents that support the SEPA are there to support the application too. So they're still gonna create a lot of those things, like there's no wetland, we have a memo, but it's supporting the project review and not also.
Okay, so I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so at this time, and this time is, 6:39, we will open up a public hearing to consider comments regarding the proposed amendment changes. As a reminder, there's no dialogue between the commissioners and the public. The commissioners are listening and considering your comments. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand, or make a comment in the chat room.
Or just unmute and talk.
And we have a Benjamin Taylor online. Would you like to add any comments?
Hi, yes. Thank you very much, folks, for listening to me. Good evening, Chair Torgerson, fellow commissioners and city staff. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all tonight and share feedback on your proposed amendments to council. I know that you've, read my letter at your last commission meeting. And on behalf of the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, I urge you to support the categorical exemptions of any, an increase in any amount in the North Bend Municipal Code, Chapter 1404, Environmental Policy. As our community struggles to provide affordable and attainable housing adopting efficiencies allowed by passage of, these changes would be absolutely crucial. Many of the factors that make housing so expensive are outside of local government's influence and control, including land costs, labor and materials, and of course, escalating interest rates. What local government can influence is process and efficiency, which these SEPA exemptions are, they fall squarely in the realm of. Revising this part of your code means lower housing costs, more time available for city staff, and a quicker buy to build to sell process. Overall, it's going to lower housing prices for your constituents. We hope that it will also save city time, make your budget trim a little fat away from the edges, and make things a little bit more streamlined, and overall just be more efficient for both the citizens of North Bend and for your city staff. So thank you again for listening. I welcome the opportunity to answer any questions that y'all have, whether it be from my letter a couple weeks ago or tonight, anything new. If you have any further questions you want to air offline or just later, please shoot me an email at btaylor@mbax.com. And thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight. Thanks.
Can you give us your formal name and address for the record?
Sure. It's Benjamin Taylor and 335 116th Street, Southeast, Bellevue, Washington.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Doesn't look like it. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:43 p.m. And now it's time for the commissioners to discuss a little bit more about this amendment, and also if we have any more questions, we can ask them, and if we want to make a recommendation at this time, someone can do that. Any thoughts? Brian, you have any thoughts?
No, I think, keeping consistency with what we discussed last meeting for the recommended numbers, I think I'm very happy with kind of where we settled. And Commissioner Moe, I completely agree. I think having the chance to sit down and look at how the SEPA code and the North Bend code are 100% aligned in so many ways, made it so much easier to. I know that was already in our packet before, just I didn't get a chance to look at it ahead of the meeting. But just crystal clear on what the actions are, and I think it's great to increase it to save some staff resources and some resident resources as well. So very happy.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I'm excited about this lowering housing costs I just heard from Mr. Taylor. Wish we could somehow put that in here.
Yeah, we'll put that on council's agenda, Bill, as a summary of why you guys, support it.
Absolutely.
I wish we could track it. It would be nice to see because what we're doing these things to help, and it would be nice to just find a way to track it to see if what we're doing is actually, streamlining its process and making it easier.
Right, and I think Mr. Taylor has some numbers. I don't know what you have off the top of your head as far as, have you been tracking any of this for
like how many
cities?
times, does SEPA get in your way where you're like, man, like we would have just it would have been so much easier and we could have made this so much cheaper for the community but now we didn't.
Sure, absolutely. I can say the number off the top of my head. It's in our SEPA issue brief, that we're working on right now. I'm sorry, I don't have it ready for y'all tonight. But it does end up saving, the average builder about $3,000 a project, which generally does translate into costs saved by folks who are trying to buy homes in your area. In terms of time, I think it's, a couple weeks, 4 months. That kind of depends on the jurisdiction. 4 weeks, not 4 months. Depends on the jurisdiction. But overall, it's a big time saver for our members, and hopefully also for your city staff. I don't have granular data when it comes to North Bend, but I'd be happy to talk to my folks and see what we can do in terms of tracking in North Bend. I think there could be a good shot we could get something to let you know what this changes, especially if there's room to look at it, increasing it more down in the future if it turns into something fantastic. So you got it.
Excellent, thank you.
Did the tribe provide any input on this?
No,
They did not
received
comment.
no other comments, except that, the SEPA comment period is not over yet. That is next week, I believe. I'll just
So
check
no
that.
public comment,
Right.
they could still comment on the SEPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, any other thoughts? You want to make a recommendation?
A motion? No.
Are we ready to move this on to the council?
You guys wanna make a motion?
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with Brian. I think we already discussed this.
Yeah.
And I also had a chance to see the documents that you sent us, so I think we are aligned on this, yeah.
Okay, so we do have
It was written out so perfectly, I just
Yeah.
can't find it.
It's back off of the staff report,
The top of the staff report.
staff
Oh, okay,
recommendation.
staff recommendation.
Yes. So if you want to read that,
Which, everything?
just a motion to recommend city council?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so, I want to make a motion to recommend city council approval of the proposal ordinance amending and North Bend MC Chapter 14.04 environmental policy as it relates to exempt certain small projects, minor new constructions from SEPA review.
Second?
Do we have a second? All right, we have a second. Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, anybody opposed? All right, it passes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, right? Yep, 5 of us, and I think we're done.
Well, thank you for coming on.
So the next item is to discuss our meeting schedule. One of the things that, it was actually Corinne that made me think about it, that, Thursdays aren't the best for everybody, and, and I kind of asked you guys out of the meeting about some of you out of the meeting about Wednesdays, and it seemed like most people, were available to do this on Wednesday instead. And so I was curious if you want to permanently change the day of our regular meeting, starting in 2023, to the, second and fourth Wednesday of the month. It could go to the first and third. We don't necessarily have a preference. If there's some reason the second and fourth doesn't work for you guys and you prefer the first and third, but,
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
Wednesdays were better for you guys?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
I think Wednesday's fine, yeah, I don't see anything on my calendar that,
second and third,
Yeah.
and fourth, right?
yeah, actually, I think it would be, because a lot of times when I do miss, it's because I'm leaving on a Thursday for
Yeah.
a trip.
Yeah.
That's what we were thinking too, for weekends and I we I think we've adjusted to the 6:30 and seem to all be able to
Yeah,
do that,
yeah,
so.
Yeah, I agree.
Need a motion, probably?
We need probably need a formal motion, because we are changing what our regular schedule is. So if we have a motion
For the
to,
next meeting or this?
for starting January.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion to change?
I'll move to change our regular meeting day from the second and fourth Thursday of the month to the second and fourth Wednesday of the month, starting in 2023.
Do we have a second?
I second. That is.
We'll look at it. All right, let's go ahead and vote. All say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, it passes.
Although I do vote yes, and I want to do what's best for the majority, I can't wait to like commit to Wednesdays today. So if I have to step down, I'll let you know, but, or if I can't
If we
choose
can move
work,
it back, we can move it back too.
I mean, it's just a job, I can maybe like switch things around.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are flexible, so
Same,
If,
I'm
you know,
too. I'll look tonight though.
Yeah.
That'll be such an issue, but.
I mean, if you want to continue this, I mean, we voted, but you guys, we can put it back, let us know, we can put it back on the agenda for the 8th.
Yeah, let us know if
If
you're
it's-
finding it could be an issue, and we'll revisit it at the next meeting.
Okay, I'll let you know if it's like such a dire thing, but.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And if you find that the first and third work better, I don't think anyone had, if you're looking at those days.
Just be prepared to justify why it's more important
Why?
than Thursday
I
night
will.
football.
I thought all the.
We'll say we come Sunday, but then sometimes we got Monday night football.
Yeah, we're doing this for convenience, and you're like, well, I got this job, you know?
I always have a meeting on Wednesday till 5 anyways, so I'm stuck here all day Wednesdays, so having it
What do you
afterwards.
guys do for an hour and a half?
Oh, sometimes on Thursday I could leave at 4. But
Oh.
on Wednesdays I'm here till 5, so I get an extra hour. I have an extra hour that I've got meetings anyway, so yeah. No, I'm always here between the end of the day and the meeting.
Whenever the meeting starts.
Yeah, so we can adjourn, we don't have to talk about this.
We conclude our meeting, and I thank everybody who joined, and we'll adjourn at 6:52 PM.
Great.
Great.